Hello, this is Janet Michael. In addition to hosting The Valley Today each weekday at noon on the River 95.3, I also produce podcasts. And I'm excited to kick off Season 2 of our podcast series in partnership with Rappahannock Electric Cooperative. It's called We Are REC. Every week we'll release a new episode talking to different people from REC about a host of different topics. We'll get tips for saving money on your electric bill. We'll talk about renewable energy and the impact it can have in our communities. We'll get some behind-the-scenes info about what happens when the power goes out in a storm. Don't miss out on information about community grants, scholarships, REC-hosted events, and more. Get every single episode on our website at theriver953.com under the podcast tab, or you can subscribe for free in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or on Spotify. Just do a quick search for We Are REC. Hello and welcome to The Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Tuesday, Tourism Tuesday, as you are listening to the show today. We, however, have pre-recorded on a Monday morning. Shenandoah County is up first this month, as it is every single month for Tourism Tuesday. That means I'm sharing a Zoom screen today with Carrie Hahn from Shenandoah County Tourism. Carrie, how are you, my friend?
Oh, I am doing all right. I got one student started at as his senior year began this morning, and my older child Margaret is she started her classes at UVA last week, but we don't move her in until later on this week. So I've got two in school on their computers, and they're after it right now. It's really after all these months. It's really nice to see all of the first day of school pictures from friends, and wow, what a year.
Oh yeah, and I bet those first day of school pictures look a whole lot different now because they're sitting on their beds, they're in the kitchen, they're out on the front porch, they're not at the bus stop anymore.
They certainly are interesting for sure.
Well, I am excited about our guest today because she is a newbie to the show, but we have spent a great deal of time talking before we started recording for the radio show, and she's got some fascinating things to tell us. So tell me who is sharing the Zoom screen with us today.
Hi, I'm Melissa Wynn, and I am the new marketing director at Shenandoah Caverns. I've been at the Caverns since May, working through all of the COVID things and whatnot. And I do live in Rockingham County, but I have been visiting Shenandoah County a lot more now, obviously, and really excited about all the places I'm learning about and the places, to visit. Harrisonburg tends to be our direction, but I have been going to Shenandoah County for my shopping and, New Market, and I'm just loving it. So it's kind of like I live in the same place, but started a new life and a new community That's way.
Awesome.
Yeah.
In the middle of a pandemic.
Right? Yeah.
But what better place to, if I just can interrupt, but what better place to get out in the open spaces than Shenandoah County? That's one of the things that, we really have going for us. People come in to visit, and, you can really do a lot outside.
Yes. Yeah. Laid back people, beautiful scenery. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
So Melissa, give me a quick overview of Shenandoah Caverns. Carrie and I talk about it quite frequently. I think almost every single month there's something that she says is going on in your neck of the woods. But what is Shenandoah Caverns? Give me an overview.
All right, so Shenandoah Caverns is it's about 140 acres of actual property that has multiple attractions on it. So the caverns, of course, are our highlight. The caverns are very unique. Some people say they're the most beautiful in Virginia. We have tons of different formations, lots of colors down there. You have lots of different minerals in our area that come down into the cave. You've got grays and browns and white. I mean, it's beautiful. And so the caverns are a highlight, but the property actually houses two other buildings that are very important to the owner and the legacy of the property itself. One being the Yellow Barn, which is a museum with agriculture equipment and carriages from way back. I mean, we have a Model T inside of there that actually still runs, I've heard. But that building is closed to the public, and it's open for private dinner bookings, and we're doing some small events there. Elopements, a lot of weddings were canceled, so we're rescheduling folks in the barn. They have plenty of space. So that, and we also have goats in our garden there housed at the Yellow Barn. And our garden is our cafe garden. The Caverns building has a locally sourced cafe inside of it, and a lot of the food that comes from that building, or it comes to the cavern or the cafe, is not only sourced through other farmers, but we grow it on the property too, which I think is really special. And then we also have a building called American Celebration on Parade, which houses parade floats from national celebrations. It is magical, whimsical, glittery. It's almost, a lot of people say it's like the Disney out in the middle of nowhere. Like all of a sudden, kids go in there and their eyes get just so huge, and they feel like they're at this just like magical grand place that is surprising. You just don't know it's there. And so, that we have the cafe, and then also we now have gemstone mining, which is, I think, relatively new to the Caverns. I'm new too, but kids and adults alike are loving that. You buy a bag of pay dirt, you go mine, and you can get lots of gems and crystals and things. So that's a lot of fun. But yeah, the Caverns is like it's not just a Caverns. It is a day of family fun. A place where you can spend an entire day with your family.
What kind of impact did COVID-19 have? I'm sure you guys had to close completely for a while as you reworked what the new plan was going to be. Are the Caverns open now? I mean, how does that work?
Yeah, so we closed for a couple months, and during those months worked really hard to just kind of figure out opening. How would we, make it safe? How many people could we have inside the Caverns, the building? I mean, the American Celebration, it was pretty tricky. And in the end, we were one of the first Caverns to open back up, because we were able to figure out a way for our tour guides to be involved in the cleaning and the day-to-day. They weren't just taking tours. These kids and adults, they were working around the clock to make sure every surface was, cleaned, because we have, it's a tourism site. We cut the tour sizes down to 10 people, and then we increased it to 20. So we're about at 20 right now. But overall, we have 53% less traffic than we did before COVID. So it's definitely hit us pretty hard.
Do you have regular hours now for places like the museum?
Yes, so our hours are actually about to change after Labor Day, but right now we are open 7 days a week. So tours begin at 9:30, they end at 5 p.m. After Labor Day, we will be cutting some hours down a bit, and on September 8th, American Celebration will be closed until November. And the reason for that is that we have a haunted house that we put up inside of American Celebration. It is a very popular attraction. It's called American Fright Night. And we also have figured out a way to make American Fright Night safe to reopen. So we will be kind of widening the spaces that people walk through. We will, if somebody comes with a group, that group will go in to the haunted attraction. They won't be waiting for, larger groups to go through or anything. So yeah, we're excited that we can still have Fright Night. But yeah, the American Celebration will be totally transformed from its whimsical, glittery, happy place to pretty terrifying. Yeah.
Carrie, you have talked about that transformation on previous shows because it is quite scary.
It is, well, and the transformation itself, like as a person who is an artist, and I love the creative element of it, and they do something a little different every year. The transformation is like it's like nothing I've ever known or seen anywhere else. It's really, really, and now haunted houses are not for me, but I will say, like, it is the coolest thing, hands down.
Well, and Halloween and an event like this is going to be one of those easy things too. I would guess, Melissa, to enforce wearing masks, because you can encourage people to come dressed up and their mask is part of what they're wearing anyway. So that's got to make it a little bit easier.
Right. And our volunteers and actors, it'll be pretty easy to just decorate a mask. Pretty terrifying. So, but yeah, the creative mastermind behind that is one of our maintenance guys. I call him our creative director. This guy, Bo, is amazing. He's just so creative. And every day that I am there, I go to visit his workshop, and he's got something else, some creepy lights hanging up, or he's working on some animatronic clown or something. So
he's an artist.
Yeah, he's really excited that we can still do it too. Yeah.
Well, let's take a quick break. When we come back, Melissa, you touched a minute ago on weddings and the cafe. Can we talk about those in a little bit more detail in the next segment?
Absolutely.
Okay, Carrie, you're going to hang around because I know you've always got things to add to this.
Sure. Of course I'm going to hang around.
Of course. I'm not going to let you go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation for Tourism Tuesday. We are chatting with Melissa Wen. She is the marketing director for Shenandoah Caverns. Carrie Hahn, of course, is joining us on the Zoom screen for Shenandoah County's edition of Tourism Tuesday. We are recording it on a Monday morning, but regardless of that, we're still going to be back in just a couple of minutes. Hang in there.
Do you know anyone who is struggling with financial hardships because of coronavirus? Our new webinar called Coping with the Money Crunch can help. We'll talk about immediate options to consider, revising or creating a spending plan, and lots of community resources. Then we'll cover how to narrow your priorities, contact creditors, and avoid scams and risky loans. The webinar is free, and you can either join by phone or through Zoom on a smartphone, tablet, or computer. You can find out more by visiting the Northern Shenandoah Valley Financial Education Program on Facebook or calling Karen Poff at 540-635-4549. Let me show you how to make your own plan or help someone you care about get through the crisis. Call 635-4549 or visit at NSV Financial Education on Facebook today.
Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Tourism Tuesday as you're listening to the show today. We, however, have pre-recorded on a Monday morning so that we can have our usual conversation with Carrie Hahn from Shenandoah County Tourism. Joining us on the Zoom screen today, though, is Melissa Wen. She is the marketing director for Shenandoah Caverns. And Melissa, in the last segment, we talked a little bit about some of the things that you guys have had to change and tweak because of COVID-19. And you mentioned the cafe. And I know that before we started recording for the radio show, you were talking about the cafe and how you have really made a pivot with this cafe to kind of make it a foundation of some of the things that you guys can do with the caverns.
Yeah, so the cafe is a 1957 Bastion Blessing soda fountain. It's been there since 1957. And we do serve the same menu that we always have: hamburgers, hot dogs, French fries, BLTs, but we source everything locally now. So we work with John Henry General Store in Newmarket. We carry Route 11 potato chips. They're our neighbors. And we get our potatoes from Rockingham County. I mean, the new chef, his name is Joe Del Pupo. And he travels around every week, gathers up everything he needs locally, and the food is just absolutely fantastic now. We also are offering catering, and we did this not only to kind of adjust things due to COVID. People could pick up their orders through February, March, April, May, however long we were closed. We were doing pickup and curbside and takeout, and just realized that there was a lot more we could make in the cafe with a talented chef that was working with local farmers. And so this way we were kind of supporting the community, a little bit more. And so our Airbnb we can deliver to. We have plans to deliver to businesses in Mount Jackson. So everybody can kind of watch out for that on social media. And we do invite locals to come up and check it out, because it's a brand new menu. Even if you've lived in Shenandoah County and Quicksburg your whole life, it's a whole different taste when you come in now.
Fantastic.
So you mentioned that you guys are even growing some of your own stuff that you're fixing in the cafe. Have you ever thought about doing like a farm to table dinner there at your place?
Yes, actually, we have catered a few events now, and we use the items from our garden. For example, we did have a very small wedding. We've noticed a lot of folks that have been rescheduling events. So as we're catering to them, but we're also offering private dinners. And so folks can actually gather their family. They can come in a safe area. The yellow barn is huge. There's plenty of space for all. And our tomato sauce, Chef Joe used our tomatoes. He made a beautiful house salad with cucumbers from our garden. The basil, we were making different mayos up at the cafe for the burger specials. So for example, we had an herbed mayo, we called it the Southern Belle Burger, but it was fried green tomatoes from our garden, the herbed mayo, bacon. It was delicious. And usually weekly, you can find a different special depending on what's also growing in the garden. So if Chef Joe walks through the garden and he sees, that the zucchinis look great, might have, something with zucchinis on the menu. And then we'll offer that as well as a catering item or for pickup.
Are you finding that you're booking more weddings now from people that maybe were planning these big weddings a year ago and now are finding they can't and they're scaling it down, but still don't really have anywhere to go? Are you getting a lot of them?
We are. We have quite a few elopements that have come to us, just very close family. And then we also have had lots of reschedules where folks have been calling around frantically trying to find a venue that will accept their wedding party. And we have been fortunate enough to be able to say yes because everything was canceled. And so the Yellow Barn is a great large space for small groups. I mean, we had a family come from Denver. Half their family was from Denver. Another half of their family was from Texas, and the bride and groom lived here in the Valley. And so they were very nervous about having, 200 people at their wedding. So they just scaled it down to aunts, uncles, and close family members. I think they ended up with 40 people, and we catered that, and they just, spread out. We kept it safe. They had the whole space outside. They could visit our goats. They could walk over to celebrations. So yeah, we have seen, some increase in folks rescheduling weddings right now, but 2021, it's interesting to see those weddings are much smaller. Folks already, they know what they need to plan to do next year already. So
I think that might end up being the silver lining in all of this, because weddings are expensive and food is one of the most expensive pieces of a wedding. And if you've got to pare down your guest list, it really does kind of make you stop and think, do I really need all of these people here when I can have a much smaller, more intimate group and have it be so much more safe?
Yeah. It's been really nice to see the families just, they're just so happy to see each other. They haven't seen each other in 6 months. So they are just excited to be together, but also we've been so excited to be able to offer them more than just the Yellow Barn. We've got catering, we're there doing everything we can to make sure that the price is right too. We've got COVID discounts, rescheduling discounts. I'm doing, everything I can to also, I understand that a lot of people were in a tough spot during all this and, they still want to get married. We'll make it work for them.
Now, you mentioned catering. Can you do catering for a wedding that isn't being held on your property? Are you doing those orders as well?
Not quite yet. We are able to, but we have only had like private dinner parties, not per se a wedding. And the private dinner parties are more so, we prep at our kitchen, but the Yellow Barn has its own catering kitchen. So that's what's great about the Yellow Barn. You can prep in your kitchen. Any caterer can actually work out of the Yellow Barn. But now we can. It's very exciting.
Well, all of my regular listeners would be shocked if I did a Tourism Tuesday with Carrie Hahn and did not somehow during the show mention wine, because that is one of the favorite topics that Carrie and I chat about. And I understand you have this really cool event that you do with Cave Ridge Vineyards.
Yeah, so we have teamed up with Caveridge. Monthly, we are having wine tastings with them. They're all themed differently. The first one was just, a few of their different kinds of wine. And we have one scheduled on the calendar. Tickets are for sale on our website and our Facebook now for September 19th. It's called The Perfect Pair is the brand of our collaboration. And this one is going to be a Petit Verdot vertical tasting. So it'll have different vintages of Caveridge's Petit Verdot, which is fantastic if you haven't tried it. Oh my gosh, it is one of their best. And so that pairing will be held down in the cave. And basically we do small groups of 20, bring them down into the cave, and they get to stop in the larger rooms of the cave and have some food by Chef Del Pupo, as well as the wine with Caveridge. And we talk about the food and the wine. We have, Randy Phillips, the owner of Caveridge, was there last time, and he was, describing the wine. Chef Del Pupo was down there describing the food. It was fantastic. Everybody loved it. So we're not going to stop. We're going to keep doing it. We got one scheduled September 19th, and then also in November. And then we also have on September 12th, we have a cider tasting. So Kindred Point Vineyard is close by too, and they have awesome ciders. So we are going to be working with them on a totally different event, which it still includes going in the cave, but we're calling it the Discovery of Shenandoah Caverns. And our tour guides are going to tell the story of the Neff brothers when they found the cave. And it's a candlelit tour. So every guest will get a candle. The tour guides will have lanterns.
Oh my God.
And yeah, it's really exciting.
How awesome is that going to be?
So they'll go all the way through the cave with the candles, and they'll only be able to see what those brothers saw back in the 1800s. And when they get to the end of the cave, Kindred Point will have their bourbon cider available, and we'll have a pairing with that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then we'll turn the lights on. So then guests walking back through the cave will be able to experience what these brothers didn't see. And it's going to be I think it's going to be so cool to see the faces of the people that have never been in our cave, because you don't know how much space you have around you. You just you're just going through with your candle, and then the lights go on. It's going to be fantastic. And so they'll walk back through, and they'll actually head to the Yellow Barn, where we'll have stations set up, and they'll be able to taste the different ciders. So Amy, the owner of Kindred Point, and I are still working out the last minute details, but that is September 12th, and tickets will go on sale this week.
I was getting ready to say, now, what is the date for that again? I think, Carrie, you and I should make a date.
I'm just over here. I'm taking notes.
Yeah, we need to find a videographer who could videotape. We could do a Valley Today on video and get them to kind of follow along so they can see us oohing and ahhing and, throwing back a little bit of cider here and there.
Yeah, definitely. It's September 12th, and there'll be 2 times, I think around 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock. And we might adjust those if we sell out, or we'll come up with another date. I mean, the Caveridge, the first one sold out pretty quickly. So we're expecting to just continue to do this, to rotate through local breweries. Like, they're welcome to contact me if anybody's interested in being part of one of our, spirited adventures. I'm not sure what to call it. Spirited experience.
I like that. Cool. That is really cool. So, Melissa, before we wrap up, if somebody is listening today and they want more information about weddings or the cafe or coming to the Caverns or seeing the floats at the American Museum, where's the best first place for them to start?
They can start on our website, and on our events page, I even have a form there they can fill out that goes straight to me about their event, what they need, vendor-wise, the date, all that stuff is there for weddings, private dinners, and whatnot on the website. And then social media, we keep up to date as well. So ticket sales, all of that's also on our Facebook and Instagram pages. But we keep it pretty updated, because things are coming up fast and quickly.
Things are changing every hour, if not every day.
Pretty much.
So, Carrie, we ran out of time before I had a chance for you to tell me about all of the cool things happening in Shenandoah County. But you have all of that on your website if somebody wants to look for stuff, right?
Absolutely. Visit shenandoahcounty.com. I will say that the vineyards, wineries, and breweries are all starting to sort of get their outside events. They're getting music in. And speaking of music, Shenandoah Valley Music Festival. There is Eileen Ivers this coming weekend. Hot Strings and Cool Breeze is a seldom seen happening on Sunday. So there's going to be a lot of events. Take a look at our events calendar. Visit shenandoahcounty.com, and then up at the top, just click on the events tab, and you'll see a whole lot of things going on, especially at our vineyards and our breweries for local live music, and then of course the music festival.
Fabulous. Well, and I will say as we wrap up that you ladies are going to come back next week, and we're going to have a whole different conversation on educational things that parents who are now at home with their kids and having to explore other ways to sneak some education in. You and Melissa are going to come back and chat with me about that next week. But we're going to wrap up today's conversation for Tourism Tuesday Shenandoah County Edition. We have been talking on the Zoom screen with Carrie Hahn from Shenandoah County Tourism. Melissa Nguyen has also been joining us. She is the marketing director at Shenandoah Caverns. Links to everything that we talked about will be up on the show notes page at theriver953.com. Just click the podcast tab, choose the Valley today. Of course, if you just subscribe in Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, they come to your phone as soon as it's on the website, and you don't even have to make an extra step. So go check all of those out. I'll meet you back here tomorrow for the Valley Business Today with Nikki Gales from the Front Royal Warren County Chamber of Commerce, just a few minutes after noon.